Gaga, 7:09 at Channel 95.7 with Connie and Curtis. 63 degrees now, 74 the high today. Rain on and off.
I just had a heart-dropping moment. I was feeling bad for Katie and for Charlotte at the same time. My wife and my youngest daughter, I got a text, okay? So my phone goes bing, and I'm like, oh, I should turn my phone off here since we're working. But luckily, I saw it because I would not, normally I don't see the text.
Right.
So I get a text, and you know how you get a little preview on your phone? Does your phone have a preview?
Yes.
So I have a very small window that shows me the first couple words of a text.
Yep.
And then you click on it, and you see the rest of it. And it says, it's from my wife, and it says, thinking about ditching Charlotte. Now, we're going on a 9-day camping trip today at 10 a.m., right? We're just heading north. It's like, let's go. Let's get in a tent. Let's have fun.
I bet there was an apostrophe S.
There was.
With something behind it.
There was.
Charlotte's something.
And it's Charlotte's little, she has like a... Like
I was gonna say, your wife is turning into my mom.
Yeah, thinking about ditching Charlotte. We're leaving behind. She has like this bag of things that go by her seat.
Okay,
and it's huge, and there's no room for it.
Right.
And the other girls, we talked them out of getting rid of them, but Charlotte still has hers sitting there because she never has anything by her. So she said, thinking about ditching Charlotte's little goodie bag. But I just saw ditching Charlotte, so I texted her back. I'm like, LOL. My preview said thinking about ditching Charlotte, and I was thinking, what happened? I picture what's going on at my house right now, where they're fighting. Katie's trying to pack, and Sean's like, I don't want to go camping. I'm freaking this, and she's like, I'm leaving you. But your parents used to leave you at your grandma's, right?
When I was Charlotte's age,
they would go and do fun things with your brothers and
I was actually
sister.
Younger than Charlotte. In their defense, I was much younger than Charlotte,
and they
Not
would
at
leave
7.
you.
When I was like 2, 3, 4, 5, though.
When did they stop leaving you?
Probably by 5.
So at 5, you got to actually be part of the family. Up until 5, Connie was left at grandma's anytime the family went anywhere.
And she made me eat vegetables. I mean, my parents made me eat vegetables too, but she was like militaristic.
Wait, your
about
grandma
it.
wasn't fun?
No.
Like my kids look forward to going to grandma's because they get to do whatever they want.
No, she was fun, but she definitely... Like, I know where my dad got his face from.
Okay. Oh,
like
they got the
dad
same face.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
That dad face that he still has, by the way.
The disapproving.
Yes.
You put that down right this instant, young lady face.
Yes, he still has that face. She had that face, but her face was scarier.
Oh, because it's all wrinkly.
Maybe.
Kind of like a witch. Did she look like a witch a little bit? Like scary?
No, she didn't really look like a witch.
Because when you were 5, she was probably like, what, 50? Isn't that funny where you think about...
No, she was older than that.
Was she?
Yeah, because when my parents adopted me, my dad was 37.
Okay, so she was probably 60.
Yeah.
67, 68.
She always seemed very old to me.
Okay.
But then again, my parents always seemed old to me.
Right.
Because which now seems so strange, but back then they were old for having a newborn.
Right, yeah, 37.
37 and 33. So back in those days, because my friends' parents were like, how old's your mom? She's 28.
Right.
What?
And they were 15 at the time.
No.
Well, you were over there by near Detroit. I don't know what's going on the east side of the state.
No, but my parents at that age did seem very old, so my grandma seemed ancient.
Right. But your grandma didn't let you like get away with things and do fun things?
No, she did not let me get away. We did fun things for sure.
Okay.
But she never let me get away with anything.
When did that change? Because I used to be scared to death of my No, I'm saying like in life, because I used to be scared to death of my grandparents. I remember once my grandparents lived in a tiny little town by Saginaw, and my grandpa was the principal of the school and like very stern, and I had a disappearing ink trick. Where you would spray the ink and it was blue all over the shirt, and then like 5 minutes later it disappeared.
Right.
And I remember running into his house and saying, hey grandma, and I pretended like I accidentally did it. And he was like, oh, what is that? And he like was visibly like angry. And I was scared for my life, and I knew it was gonna go away.
Curtis, hold on.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if you're surprised that Curtis had a disappearing ink trick when nobody's raising their hand.
No hands are up.
Isn't it funny that you say that, though? Because think about principals back then. They did seem stern.
Yes.
Principals now are so
fun.
cool and hip.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. So my mom is like the opposite of that as a grandma. They will go to grandma's house and they get to eat popcorn for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They can have pancakes at 3 in the afternoon if they want, and she'll just make them for them.
Right.
Like my grandparents didn't go out of their way to make me have a fun experience at their house. Right? I mean, I remember
neither did mine.
I got stung by a bee once. My mom and dad were somewhere maybe playing tennis or something, and I was there with my sister, and we were out playing in their yard, and I got stung by a bee, and I remember going inside, and neither one of them even cared that I got stung by a bee. Well, pull it out, they said. So pulled it out, and then went back out.
That was it.
That's what they did. My mom now would like put a fake sling on somebody's arm, get him in a bathtub. Let's get you in the bath. Let's soak that.
Take him to urgent care.
Exactly. Nobody went out of their way to make kids have a good time back in the day.
Nope. Mine definitely did not.
And now they do. Now grandparents are like fun.
Grandparents.
That's what's ruining. Everybody blames us new parents as being the ones who are screwing up life. It's the new grandparents.
I think it's because life back so many years ago was so hard on them.
Right.
When you
lived through the Depression.
Right.
Right. We had one pair of shoes in my family. And if you had to walk somewhere, you had to borrow Billy's shoes and then walk there.
Maybe that's what it is.
My mom's had shoes her whole life. She doesn't know. But she was raised by the Depression era people.
Yeah, so was mine.
And the World War II. She should know these things. She should not be letting them eat pancakes at 3:30 in the afternoon.
But she thinks that's hilarious.
She does. Well, because she's drinking her boxed wine. Maybe that's another thing. You kids are funny. And she will let them. We will. We'll go pick them up from a trip, or she'll come over here with one of them, and they will be telling us shows that they watched on TV. And she's like, "Yeah, I had never heard of it, but Shaws of Sunset, they loved it." Like, what? Why are they watching this show? And she's like, "It's funny," and I'm like,
"But you always talk about. Hold on, you always talk about how you saw Christmas Vacation when you were 7 in a theater or whatever it was."
You're right, and now I get it. Exactly.
So she hasn't changed.
Porky's. I sat and watched Porky's with my parents when it came out. So that was at 83, so I was 8 years old.
Embarrassing.
And I saw Porky's on HBO with my parents.
Yeah.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The reason I hate scary movies, they had it on one Saturday, and they had a party, and it was on, and they're all watching it, and I was sitting right there scared out of my mind. Not Close Encounters. What's the one where the lady goes into the TV? That's the movie. Poltergeist. HBO premiere back in like 1981. Yeah. I'm 6 sitting there watching this movie. No thanks. Do a better job. That's what I would like to go back in time.
Look at how you turned out.
Turned out great, right? Fabulous. This is awesome. This is the product right there of mediocre parenting.
Mediocre parenting.
So my kids are they're in mediocre. For a treat.
I hope your mother is not listening now.
Radio Pup, love it. Didn't appreciate that mediocre parenting comment. You were a real peach. You still are.
729 at Channel 95.7.
I have breaking news.
What is your breaking news? Okay. What?
We're just talking about how you never got to go on a fun family vacation. You were left behind at your grandma's where it was not fun. It was very militaristic, I believe you said. I have it on good authority, meaning your sister has texted to let us know that you did go on a trip to South Dakota when you were 3, and they celebrated your birthday at a Shakey's Pizza in South Dakota.
That is true.
Now, Shakey's was good.
Notice, though, that after that trip, you never went on another trip. So
I think that was the beginning of my tripdom with them.
You must have been.
I think it was when I was younger than 3.
So hard to handle back then. I just imagine you as a 3-year-old, right? I mean, there are times now where I see my kids and I think, that is not going to fly when you're an adult. But they're not going to be able to lose those traits.
But they're kids.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So then you think that, and that's probably what your mom and dad thought. Like, oh, you're a kid, it's okay, we'll let this slide, and now here you are. It's like my parents should have told me one time to just stop talking. And
no kidding.
I would have learned that.
I know.
But no one told me to stop talking. Yesterday,
I tell you to stop talking, you get all cranky.
I do. I get mad because no one's ever said that to me before. I don't appreciate it.
I find that very hard to believe.
Yesterday, my kids now are doing, they're all in camps. So they had a dance camp that they went to, and they're learning dances and different things. So now they pretend that they are the dance camp instructors.
Okay.
So yesterday, Elizabeth was like shouting out orders to an empty room. No, like this. 5, 6, 7, 8, no, again. And finally I said to Charlotte, who is she talking to? And Charlotte says, her class because Charlotte is observing. And I said, well, what are you doing? And she said,
she dancing? Was Elizabeth actually dancing?
Elizabeth was dancing and like, come on, do it. No, 5, 6. And so Charlotte's in a chair watching. And I said to Charlotte, who is she talking to? She's like, her class. I said, well, what are you doing? And she said, my daughter's in the class. Charlotte's watching an empty room because her daughter is in the class that Elizabeth is teaching.
That
ridiculous.
Is adorable.
No.
Brilliant.
Shouting. So Elizabeth is shouting throughout
my
the house.
Daughter's in the class.
5, 6. And I say, who is she talking to? Her class. Well, why are you here? Yeah, my daughter's in the class.
What an imagination that kid has.
The two of them.
I know.
The two of them together are
great.
watching an imaginary dance
That's
camp.
great.
It's not great.
Yes, it is great.
Go outside. I said immediately, go ride your bikes. Get out there.
Why?
Because go outside.
Let
Quit
them be
yelling.
creative.
Quit yelling in my house. Right? Go outside and yell. Wake the neighbors up. Why are you yelling in my house?
Kids are funny.
Yeah, one kid imagining that she's teaching a class. The other one thinks her imaginary kid is in the class.
It's because she didn't feel like getting up and dancing. She didn't want to be a kid in the class.
Exactly. I'm the mom. My kid's right there. Best one. I don't know if you've seen her.
What only would have made that better is if she would have been drinking wine.
Yeah.
Or grape juice that looked in a wine glass.
Yes.
That would have made that better.
Because anytime you go to like a community ed class, that's all you see is moms drinking wine.
Because they're so exhausted and they need a relaxation.
They're
point
sitting
away
in a
from the
chair
day.
at a community ed class.
It would be
and
hilarious.
They just have
to
the
me.
spigot of wine. You just help yourself. It's free
What?
flowing.
They take turns bringing the box.
It's free flowing. Help
Yeah.
yourself. And then they all drive their kids. You know, hey, we're drunk. Now let's go drive our kids.
Kids are funny.
Did you hear about the drunk mom in Texas? This is a great story because I have kids who get wet and they get in the car and they ruin the seats.
Yeah.
In fact, I had to hold a class on how to fold your towel so your butt will not seep in to the water or into the seat. And I pulled them all over to my seat and I said, look at my seat. Is it wet? No, it is not. Okay. I got out of the pool exactly the same time as you. Look at your seat. Wet. Charlotte, yours. Wet. Haley, yours. Wet. I said, look at my towel. Folded nicely. Look at yours. Wrapped around you with one layer. Start folding it nicely. So now they fold it nicely, but their hair gets to the back of the seat all wet. I wish I had done what this woman in Texas did. She
No,
didn't want her wet kids. This is something that used to happen in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, nobody cared.
Yeah, nobody cared. So she says, you guys are too wet to be in the car. Sit on the trunk. So she's driving and then forgets that they're on the trunk and whips around a corner and they all go flying off.
There's one caveat to this story, though.
She was wasted.
She was drunk.
Right. But it makes sense.
So I don't know. I don't think she forgot they were on there. I think she didn't care.
Well, I think she forgot. You're probably driving tentatively at first. Then you're like, all right, I'm wasted. Woo. And a good song comes on the radio. And you're like, yeah, turn it up. Pitbull. Woo. Yeah. Yeah, I love Pitbull. Drive. What? And the kids go flying. One of them like cracked their head open on the road.
Yeah, Curtis made a comment to me about me being in some sort of a car seat when I was little. I was like, no.
No, there's no car seat.
We weren't in car seats. I wasn't even in a seatbelt back then.
No, you didn't need them. You would sit in the back, right? The far back of the station wagon.
They would stuff me up in the window, or they would stuff me down in my. Or if I was really lucky, I got to sit in between my parents in the front seat.
Oh, awesome!
Either in where their feet were,
okay,
my brothers and sister, or up in the window, or really lucky in between my
You're
parents.
very fancy.
But sometimes they wanted that armrest down.
Yes.
More than they wanted me between
You're
them.
the back kid.
Oh.
I was just watching Three Men and a Baby the other day, and it's from 1987.
Right.
And they take the baby in a taxi cab on their lap. a 7-week-old baby or 7-month-old.
Did you say 97?
87, 1987.
Okay.
So the cab stops, and they're like, where are you going? The airport. And the baby is in their lap in the back of the taxi. You don't get to do that in this day and age.
You don't
right?
get to.
You know where you get to do that? We took our family to Jamaica, and we had little 18-month-old Charlotte.
Okay.
They don't have car seats in Jamaica. Charlotte definitely sat in a seat, just bouncing around because they drive like maniacs, right? So Charlotte's laughing, and we're like, oh, I hope you don't break something.
No
you know,
kidding.
You're very soft at this stage of your life. we don't want anything
You're
to happen.
very soft.
Yeah, like you haven't fully fused your bones and whatnot. You don't know what's going on.
Fun times with the kids.
Fun times with kids.
All right,
Fun
it's
times
Free
at
Flick Friday.
Celebration Cinema, baby.
We've got 2 family 5-packs right now to Think Like a Man 2 at 7708-957. 2 of them.
Yeah.
If you were a caller, let's do 9.
Caller number 9.
Make caller number 10.
770-895-7. Here's the deal.
Think Like a Man, too.
Steve Harvey wrote a book, Act Like a Woman, Think Like a Man. This is the sequel to that. Got Kevin Hart in it. Looks hilarious. Celebration Cinema opens today, and you're going if you're 9 or 10.
It does look hilarious.
That Kevin Hart, he's
Did
funny.
you see that video of him? Wasn't that the video of him on the roller coaster?
Yes, with Jimmy Fallon. Or was it Kimmel? One of the Jimmys.
It was one of the Jimmys.
It was hilarious.
Kevin Hart is funny.
Freaking out. 770-895-7. You can go watch him in the new Steve Harvey movie. Steve Harvey needs some more money, so it's good that he's getting this.
He needs money.
Good that he's getting this movie produced here. 770-895-7. Who is this?
Maria.
Maria, you're going.
Yay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Super welcome,
5-pack of tickets.
Hold
Think
on.
Like a Man 2. I was just watching the trailer last night and laughing about it. And I said to Katie, I don't think we ever saw Think Like a Man 1.
You didn't?
Well, we didn't know what it was, but it's because it's that Steve Harvey movie, Act Like a Woman, Think Like a Man. We didn't know, but now we know.
Connie and Curtis, who's this?
Brenda.
Brenda, you're going.
Got you tickets.
Awesome, thank you. You're welcome, Brenda. Hold on, we'll get your information.
Hold on, Brenda.
Think Like a Man 2, Celebration Cinema. Now, we still have Jersey Boys tickets.
We do.
Keep listening to win those before 10. Also, 9:30, Philip Phillips. We start the day of giveaways.
Yay!
That's in like 2 hours. All right, your first shot at your last shots of tickets to Philip Phillips.
That's very confusing.
It's the first of the last.
It's the beginning of the end is what you're
The
trying to say.
beginning of the end. He's playing his show at Meyer Gardens Monday night. He's nice enough to stick around, play a couple tunes for us, acoustic, just him, a guitar, a room full of people at the Bob. Can't buy a ticket.
No.
You only win your lunchtime ticket.
Today's the last day, right?
Starting at 9:30.
All right, 7:37.
Of you. Oh.
John Legend on Channel 95.7, 7:49.
I just surprised myself with one of those BuzzFeed quizzes.
Curtis.
Here's the deal. I always seem to be longing for sweet, sweet contact with my loved one, right? With my spouse.
Uh-huh.
And there's a quiz. Which would you rather have, food or doing it? And I was 50-50. It's 14 questions.
Did you see the bucket of macaroni and cheese?
I chose the bucket of macaroni and
So
cheese.
did I.
I chose. So here's it breaks it down.
super funny.
Would you rather have food or some sort of intimate contact? I chose a sandwich over the gentle touch. I chose the burger over the thrill of that first contact
Another touch.
that you make. Exactly.
It's all touching.
I chose nachos over the loving caress. I chose dim sum over abandoning myself to wild passion. I chose that bucket of macaroni and cheese just because it looks so good.
It does look good.
Samosas. I don't even know what samosas are, but I definitely took that because it was that or gazing into your lover's eyes when you're done. Seriously, no thanks. I'll go samosas.
I'm shocked that you didn't choose the rib meat sandwich.
That rib meat sandwich looks delicious, but the other alternative, question number 11, if you take this quiz,
It's a better alternative.
It's better for me. Did you choose the rib meat sandwich?
No.
No.
No, you chose how many out of there are 14 questions.
And I went 7 and 7. I split evenly.
I chose food 4 times and intimacy 10 times.
Okay, and I went 7. I went right down the middle.
That burger looks good though.
I get hungry, you know. That's the thing. I was driving into work today, and Katie makes us submarine sandwiches when we travel. So
Right.
she puts them all together, and we get everything, and it has the Italian dressing on, and it's so good. And I was driving in today with just a big smile on my face, thinking, at 10 o'clock, I get one of those sandwiches. I was ready for it.
What is it with us and food?
Who cares? I'm going to be in a tent for 9 days with my wife with zero physical contact. That doesn't bother me once. I mean, I'm used to that. That's no problem. But the sandwich that I'm looking forward to. Oh,
Do you guys
so good.
have completely different food when you go camping than you do ever at home?
Yes. Everything is like in foil and made on a fire.
Yep.
So that's fun. And you just eat so much cheese.
And I look forward to that food. I
Cheese
miss
and-
it over the winter.
And I never eat a marshmallow at my house.
No.
Oh, in
No.
fact, they're disgusting.
I'm Dan and I are buying a house. We closed today. We're moving this weekend. So I was going through my pantry yesterday and there was a bag of marshmallows half gone in
Okay.
the back of my pantry. I mean, if I
Are they
would have thrown
hard?
one at you, it would have hurt
Yeah.
you. They were so hard. Must have been from camping last year.
Yeah, because you don't eat a marshmallow at your house.
No, I don't ever eat 'em.
Marshmallows don't make it to the house. You
No.
also- you don't put together s'mores at your house.
No.
But maybe you'll have some chocolate in your house.
Oh, no, that doesn't last.
Maybe you'll have some graham crackers, but you're never eating a marshmallow just
There were
in your
graham
house.
crackers in there, too. No chocolate,
You
though.
the chocolate was gone. You ate the chocolate.
Goodbye, chocolate.
That's funny. Yeah. So we will eat completely different things.
Yeah.
Grilling. One time I tried to make I thought it was gonna be real good, a Dutch oven like chicken dish, and it sat in the fire for so long, but the top ones didn't get cooked. So then,
Okay.
I mean, that's embarrassing, right? So then everybody was eating while I was still grilling my chicken because it didn't get cooked. I'm like, sorry everybody, that's a fail. So
Camping
now
is not the time to try out your new weird recipes.
Now we just go basic.
Good for you.
That's just something that I have, though. I don't know what it is. Anytime I'm throwing a party,
You like to try new
I
things.
make something new, and it makes Katie so mad because she gets nervous. She's like, well, we need a backup. What's going to happen if it doesn't work? And I'm like, it'll work.
Well, do you go back, like the things that you really love, do you go back and make them often?
Sometimes.
Sort of often?
The kids never like any of the really cool stuff that I make, so that's like a one-time deal.
No kidding, they're kids.
They're kids.
And you're a foodie, and
Well,
you like weird things.
Right, so then it's a waste of time to do it just for two people to
Right.
eat. So no, we don't really get to have those. We don't revisit them. I know. Thanks. That's how I feel inside.
Start keeping a list and revisit
Well, we have
them.
a list. We have all the recipes, and
Oh, okay.
like we read if we like it. But they never
But
get
you
made
never go
again.
back to 'em.
Hardly ever. We have like 5 or 6 that the kids will eat. So we'll go back to that are real fancy.
You don't care about the kids, though. You care about you.
I care about myself. I mean, I want to eat some good stuff, right? Right. My kids would eat brats every day though, if we let them, and so would I. And Katie won't let us do it. She's a buzzkill.
Every day?
She's a brat block. And we don't
Does
know.
she not like brats?
She likes brats.
She's a brat
She just doesn't like to eat brats every single day. She doesn't. We could have the best thing in the world.
If
and
they were healthy for you, would she?
no, that doesn't. It doesn't
No.
matter that. But we will eat something totally awesome, and then I will say to her, "Hey, I want to eat that again." And she's like, "We had that 4 weeks ago." I'm like, "Who cares? I would eat brats every day."
Yeah.
I love brats. Brats are so good.
Did you get some for your trip?
No, we don't shop. We don't bring any of our groceries. We go there.
Okay.
Because we've learned that the cooler takes up so much room. So we leave it empty. We pack it full of stuff.
Okay.
And then when we get there, we empty all that stuff out, and then we put the ice in, and we stock it with beer, and only what we're going to drink during the
Okay.
9 days. All the food, and then that's empty again. We dry it out.
There
and
is
repack it.
no way you are taking from here
Yeah.
enough beer for you for
We're
9
not taking
days.
any beer.
Oh, okay.
We're not taking any
I was
beer.
going to say, it wouldn't fit in your van.
No, we're buying all the beer as we go.
You'd have to leave a kid home.
And we thought about it today, right? Katie was going to leave Charlotte
Hello?
home. No, we will be okay. And then Katie likes to drink like fruity cocktails.
Yeah.
So nothing says we're roughing it. Like Katie drinking her mixed drink, and she's like, well, yeah, we can't. She was mad. Okay, so her
Why?
parents never camp, and they have a camper, and so they're inside most of the time, and they have a blender. So she wanted.
That's awesome.
She wanted margaritas, and I said, okay, but can we at least drink them on the rocks like we're camping? Can you not go in? I said, I'll make it for you. I'll do everything. But let's not blend them. We're not at a buffet
I'm
show.
with Katie.
with the
Blend
gas powered.
'em. Blend them. You have it there. Why not?
Throw them on the rocks like we're camping.
Blend
have a good,
them.
Put it in a solo
Give
cup.
her one thing.
Walk around.
Blend them.
Because then it melts.
They're so much better blended.
Oh, I disagree.
If you like them blended, and Dan would disagree too, but you're not the one drinking them.
No.
You're making them for your beautiful
I'm drinking.
wife.
I'm drinking a 30-pack of Pabst a day. 9 days, 270
Oh, you're gonna
cans.
be a hot mess.
Connie and Curtis.